Good afternoon. The time is 12 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, parents, for joining us. We are going to record this session so that we can post, so that any parent that was unable to attend this workshop is able to get the material. As always, we've been posting our parent workshops and meetings on our reopening website. We do have several of our team members that are on this afternoon that will lead the session. Definitely will give anyone a chance to ask questions as need be. Definitely as we go through it, I do not believe that the chat is enabled at the moment, but definitely as the teachers go through each item and our admin team, please just unmute yourself, parents, if you have a question. So definitely looking at just important contacts. If you need us, we have our information on there. Definitely points of contact. You see our admin team. You see our new family support specialist, Mr. Shakespeare, that's also on, that will lead part of the session this afternoon. So definitely if you need us, please reach out. Continue to visit our school website. And we have our different handles for social media on there if you have any questions or concerns or need any updated information. Definitely as we continue to tell our parents, we continue to post important information dealing with our virtual learning on our Reopening Wade Park website. So if you visit our school page, which is clevelandmetroschools.org/Wade Park, scroll down and you'll see a Reopening Wade Park link. We have various information on there for you parents. So please continue to bookmark and visit that page for any updates that you would need. So our agenda for this afternoon, Ms. Bouch will lead our part in terms of, how do you get on Seesaw? What are some resources on there? She'll kind of walk you through the platform. Definitely if you have any questions during her part, just unmute yourself and she can answer it for you. Then we will look at Schoology and Zoom led by Mr. Mark. Then we will look at specific school supports that are in place. That's led by Mr. Taylor, our Dean of Engagement. And then specific family supports and different learning pods that have been set up throughout the city will be led by our family support specialist, Mr. Shakespeare. So at this time, I will stop sharing my screen. Ms. Bouch, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, you can go ahead, Ms. Bouch, and I will let you take it away.
Okay, so I'm going to start in Clever because when you're logging in, you want to make sure you go through the Clever. That way all your login information is right there. When you're looking for the Seesaw, you can search up here in the search bar and you will find this. It looks like a seesaw that's moving up and down. When you click on that, that will take you to the Seesaw website. When you're in the Seesaw website, the first thing you need to do is to make sure you're in the right class. So up here in the left, it has your class assignments. So when I click on this, I have different classes here. I created this sample class just for this. So I am in my sample class. And as you can see, when I was in there, my current class has 17 assignments. If you have a little red circle oval with numbers in it, that means you have assignments waiting for you. So I'm going to go into my sample class. And when you're in your sample class, this will be the first thing that you see. This is going to be your journal. Your journal will collect all of your assignments after they are completed. Where you want to go first is you want to actually go to the activities. Those will be the assignments that the teacher has assigned. So when you go into activities here, you're going to see the activities that have been assigned. So right now there are 3 activities that have been assigned. The most recent one will be at the top. The earliest one will be at the bottom. So I'm going to take a look at this one. When you click on this, it will take you into the assignment itself. This will give the instructions. Sometimes the teacher will have the instructions also on a voice recording to help the child. And you just follow what it says. So here they click on the add response. And we're going to go in as a student. Now, if you read the directions out there, you could see what you needed to do. But when you're in the assignment, you need to click up here to review those instructions. And yes, you can listen to the instructions again. You have different tools here that you can use. This is a text tool. And when you click on that, you're given a little box to type in. You have a voice recording, so the student can actually read their answers. You have a camera function, so that the child can take pictures of things. You have an ellipsis here, which shows you some additional ones, which are shapes, background, and links. Now, this particular worksheet, it tells us to use the highlighter to color in the two, to use the pencil to circle all the objects showing to, and to use the highlighter to fill in the 10 frame, and to use the pencil to trace the number. So all of these tools are down here. So for this first one, for the highlighter, I would choose the highlighter tool. You have different colors that you can choose. And you would trace it. For this one, you would use the pencil tool. So circle the objects that show to. And you can also change the color of your pencil. Here, the highlighter again. Okay, and the pencil again. And after the student completes their work, there is a green check mark up here. Now, if this assignment has more than one page, they will see the different slides over here, and they can use this arrow to go to each of those pages before they submit. So after the child has finished, they can click on this, and it brings it to their journal, at which time it will pop up on the teacher's screen, and the teacher can grade it, comment on it, and things like that. And all of their completed work will appear in the journal. And the teacher can resubmit it to the student if they need to redo it. You also have an inbox over here where the teacher can leave announcements and notifications, and the student can give announcements and notifications back. So that's pretty much what you're going to see on your screen, and how to do most of the assignments. Sometimes the teacher will ask you to take a picture of something and there hasn't been an activity created for that. At that time, you would click the add button, and you can post student work, and it will give you some tools that you can use to do that. You have a camera function, a drawing. The drawing goes back to what I just showed you. You could take a video of something. Maybe you need to upload something, take notes, or give a link to a website. So my students like to use the photo function a lot and take pictures of different things that they want to show me. So it kind of makes it more interactive, more fun to show your work. So are there any questions?
Okay.
Okay,
Well, thank you, Ms. Bouch.
anytime.
All right, so then we will move into Mr. Mark, who will review the Schoology and Zoom platform or tips. So, Mr. Mark, you can go ahead and share your screen at this time if you need to.
For share screen, I'm going to jump into Clever first, because Clever is going to be the easiest tool that you can use to get from place to place. Clever it's what I've looked at it as is kind of like having like an iPhone or an iPad with different apps on it that'll send you right to where you need to go. So this is my teacher page. However, kids pages look very similar. They do have messages at the top, so we can see any contacts, and teachers are able to check analytics to see how recent students have logged into, and will tell me what different apps on here that they've logged into. But when you say student page at first, you'll see up here where mine says favorites, you'll see teacher pages. And when you click on a teacher's page, it'll look something like this. Teacher may have an announcement up here that they put out once or twice a week, and kind of answer any questions that you may have in general, especially as far as like independent time. And then below that, you'll see different apps that are included on there. So when we go to the Schoology app, it'll take just a second. Now, fortunately for Schoology, the students page and the teachers page looks very similar. They can either click over on course dashboard when they log in, or it'll take you right to your courses. You just select whichever course you want to go on. So I'm going to go on to my English Language Arts course. And the students page will look exactly like this, except for the add materials and options. And then these little signs down the bottom will not be up there. The reason they aren't is because that's how we would edit. But on each page, you should be able to find information in there, such as a welcome back to school, which would be a parent letter or a little note given. You should be able to find your student schedule on there as well. When they click on this, it'll pull up the schedule if the kids, for some reason, can't find their schedule. They know they have to have specials, or they know that it's time for them to join their classroom teacher. I don't know how to get there, so teachers have set up Zoom links directly on there. So mine is called Meet with Mr. Mark. And if you click on this Zoom link, it'll take you right to my lesson. And as long as you're joining in during a time that we're scheduled to be together, that's how you would jump in. Many teachers have also created our meeting with Encore teachers, where you can click these links and you can join right in the music class, right in the art, right in the gym, right in the reading intervention. And it will take you right to where you need to be on there. And then we also have included some different things as far as, this week, these are some things that have been uploaded that they'll want to use, that students can go back to, that they can review, that you've gone through in class. You can find recordings on there as well. But a nice thing that we can find along different parts over here on the side, you can look up grade books. So if grades have been added, you can keep up to date on where your students are as far as the grade book. And I'm going to log in as a student just to show you kind of how similar these two are right now. So the simplest way to get there would be, I'm just going to go to Google and type in Clever, and it will take me right here. So I'm going to log in with the student who's an 8th grader at our school and sign in. That way we can keep the password up here so they have their favorite resources. And then the student in 8th grader has their teacher's pages. So they can see Ms. Ivory for math. They can see Ms. Hutchinson for art, Ms. Collins for social studies, Mr. Lockhart for science, Mr. Teitelbaum for gym. All these teachers having their pages that they can log into and just click on and find different sites that they can use that they may be directed to find different apps on there. So if we log into this student Schoology, nope, still mine. I'm gonna get logged out here real quick.
Excuse me.
Go ahead with your question.
Yes.
Is this 8th or high school? Is this 8th or high school? Or 8th and 9th or 8th and 7th? Is this middle school or high school?
Middle school or high
This is
school?
a parent workshop showing parents how to use the platforms.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So if they were to click on ELA to see what Mr. Parks has his page, he can click on all of these different things to get to where he needs to go to. He can find if for some reason Mr. Parks is not here, if he has something goes wrong as far as like the internet outage, he has an article and an assignment that he can work on for his emergency plan. So we have things that even in case there's a lesson supposed to be going on and there's some sort of internet issue that they can use on here as well. But all these links nicely, actually just like click on nice and easily when you click on his welcome letter. It doesn't open up a separate Microsoft Word, even though it's a Microsoft Word document. It opens up as it would in Word, but within Schoology. Now, as far as Zoom, the only issue I have someone is trying to figure out how to share my Zoom screen. But what I would suggest for everybody to do when they log into Zoom is first click on participants, and what should show up on the right side of the screen should be everybody who's joined in the lesson. The reason some of this I always find is like the easiest thing to get started with is because when you find your name and you click more, now it looks different for you than it does for me as a host on it, but it will allow you to at least change your name. You should see at the bottom where you should be able to raise your hand. So I'm directing students in my class, for example, to click on the raise hand button when they have a question, rather than if I'm sharing a screen, I can only see 4 names at a time. I can't see if you raise your hand like this. So I'm asking students to show that, because what it alerts the host to is it'll pop up and it'll say, this student has raised their hand. If multiple students are raising their hand, you can scroll up and down the cameras on the side and you can see who all is raising their hand. So that way you're at least able to jump in and see, and that gives students a chance to participate as well in our sessions. And I'm trying to think some other things, Dr. Buddy, we might want to show on here.
So I know we had some issues, some sporadic issues earlier with Zoom. So just speaking with the Zoom technical support team, they were recommending if a parent is having issues logging their child in, to reinstall the Zoom application or app if you're using your phone. Most of our kids are using laptops or iPads. So one of their thing was restart the device. If that does not work, As you mentioned, the direct links sometimes works a little better than typing in the number. So we do recommend parents, log into Clever, then Schoology, under courses, click the direct link that you just showed them. So that was another backup, another tip that the Zoom tech support team shared this morning. Definitely want to keep reminding parents that, if your child is trying to log in, you've tried those tips, it's not working, definitely check our daily alert tab on our Reopening Way Park page or social media, because once we got alerted this morning that families were having issues, we did post an alert because we had a good number of families that were having issues logging into Zoom. So usually that kind of gets the issue fixed, but we definitely definitely do continue to tell our parents just to reach out to us if you've tried those troubleshooting tips and it's still not working.
And also, one other thing, I know that we want students to make sure their cameras are on, but sometimes I have told students that I have some kids at times their internet's a little sketchy, so it keeps kicking them on and off. If they turn off their camera, it's kind of like putting your phone in battery save mode. It at least helps them able to stay on so they can still hear you. So that's something I only use as an emergency, as in I'll mention the name of the person who it keeps seeing get kicked off.
Yeah.
But if you're having issues with internet at that time, that's something that helps keep them on the Zoom session as well.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Mark. We will now transition to Mr. Taylor, who will discuss school supports.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for zooming in this afternoon. I would like to go over a couple items with you as far as support that we have here at the school. We have Miss Madden, who will be doing pre-K to second. She'll be making the phone calls. If your scholars are not zooming in and we get an absence report, she'll be taking care of pre-K to second. Mrs. White would do 3 through 5, and Mr. Patrick would be doing 6 through 8. These are our key people in the building that will be calling, reaching out, trying to find out, do you need anything from the school or anything sort that we can do to help you with this Zoom sessions that we have, like this morning, they was calling in, we was able to navigate through them and get them rectified very quickly. Whatever we can do to help with this transition, we greatly need you to call in to us and let us know. We don't want you to be sitting there and lost without calling in so that we can assist you with that matter. So please reach out to us so that we can help you and let some of the stress be on us and not on you. Also, we have some key people that will be working with our intervention students. That is Ms. Robertson, Ms. Fantone, Ms. Dorsey Stewart, Ms. Bodnick, and Ms. Barnett. Those are the people that will meet with them individually on Wednesday. They will have a certain session number where they will come in to meet with those scholars that need that one-on-one attention. If your scholar has an IEP or something, they will reach out to them on Wednesday to set up the certain times with them to pull them in one-on-one to work with them with their homework. They will have different sessions inside of their classroom where they will have breakout sessions as well, where they will be working with them to help keep them engaged during this time. Secondly, we will be making daily phone calls of scholars that are not coming, just logging on at the rightful time. Our school day starts at 8:30. So we know in the past we usually start at 8, but our instructional time is 8:30. We would like for every scholar at least by 8:15 to be sitting up in their designated areas in your homes, ready to go by 8:15. So that way no one is logging out and not getting into sessions when the classroom teacher starts at 8:30. That's what happened this morning. We had a lot of kids that was logging in at 8:45 and they had already transitioned into another session and the kids didn't know where the class was. So we're asking that you please have them up and ready and fully dressed as if they was coming to school with all the essential tools they need, like their books, their supplies, their pencils, and whatever they need at the designated area in your homes, ready to go. And if you need any more supplies or anything of that sort, that you're reaching out to us here at the school, that we can put those packets together for you and have you come pick them up at the school instead of not having what you need at home to assist your scholars. I know it's difficulty for you this time, but in the near future, we will be back together, back in the buildings. We just have to wait for clearance, but we are here to help you during this transition, and anything that we can do to help you with it, please reach out to us. That's what we're here for. Any questions?
Okay, thank
Okay.
you, Taylor. We will conclude with Mr. Shakespeare, who is our new family support specialist. So, Mr. Shakespeare, the floor is yours at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Dr. Buddy said, I'm Mr. Shakespeare, and I am the new family support specialist at Wade Park Elementary. Some of the tasks that I have is, as a family support specialist, is to connect families with resources, such as, for example, free legal services, after school and learning programs, mental health services. And then for some of the students who are transitioning from 8th grade to high school, set them up with, provide them information on scholarships for colleges or post-secondary tuition, so that they know what their options are when they go through, when they're reached the 12th grade. And now, we have like the pods and huddles that everyone's been talking about. So Cleveland has a few places. I want to share my screen if that's okay. Since Dr. Buddy said that, a lot of people have been, there you go, share. So these are some of the places in Cleveland where they have pods. Some of them range from 1st grade to 12th, pre-K to 6, and they fill up pretty fast. So if you can, I'm gonna give you my guys' number. You can contact me at 216-538-7075. I'll also put it in the chat as well, and contact me so that we can set you up. The pods are basically helping families who are having a hard time with their students while at home. They have people in place to help them log on to school. They also feed them throughout the day. The times range from 7:30 to sometimes 4 o'clock, or even 5:30 in some cases, like Brightside Academies. Gotta share it. But yeah, those are some of the places that also help. So if you have to work or anything like that, they ask that you keep your students there for at least 3 weeks so they can stay consistent and see how this works. And like I said, if you need any help getting into some of these places, please contact me. My number again is 216-538-7075. You can also send me a text message. I will reply as fast as I can.
So thank you, Mr. Shakespeare. Parents, any parents on have any questions for Mr. Shakespeare? All right, does any questions for any of us? Ms. Townsend, I know you're on. Do you have anything else you would like to share?
One thing I just wanted to add is Mr. Taylor talked about on Wednesdays how we have one-on-one services for our scholars with special needs. I also wanted to add that for our regular ed scholars, our gifted scholars for the entire building, if we have scholars who are having difficulties in class, that's a time for all of our scholars to have a one-on-one session with their classroom teacher. We also do small group during that time. We also have members from the community who we will be partnering with, who will be working with our scholars for tutoring needs as well. So please, parents, take advantage of that Wednesday where our our scholars can get as much support as they can. Again, if you need any assistance, call the school so that we can get you set up with any services that you may require. And that's it for everybody.
Townsend. Any questions from any parents? Yes, please go ahead. You need to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, so with the Schoology, I'm trying to try to get on it from my phone because there's times where I'm not going to be at home and I want to check a file stuff. So when I set it up, it's asking me for a school access code. I don't have one.
So you're not we haven't pushed out any access codes. We're looking to do that, if not end of this week, beginning of next week. So the access codes for Schoology, and there are several steps that parents can log into Clever also. So that's coming. You're not the only person.
Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to make it. We were trying to condense some of the steps that was working with IT, just to kind of condense the steps that parents have to do to get on to make it as easy as possible. So, I mean, that's a great question. I know we fielded that question from other parents, which I'm glad we're on top of stuff and trying to keep on, make sure you're on track with what your child is doing. So definitely look for some communication from us end of this week, but definitely if not, beginning of next week, we'll have all that information pushed out to each family.
Okay. Thank you.
That's a great question. Any other questions? So we will host, we'll definitely host again another session tonight. It'll be really identical to this session. But as always, you're more than welcome to join us again. And we'll look to, to do more workshops around, just hot topics that parents are, asking us for. So definitely as things come up, if there's something that you're not understanding or you need some more support on, please just reach out to us. We definitely don't want to schedule any workshops for parents that is a waste of your time. We really want it to be pertinent to your needs. So once again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We look forward to working with you and your scholar this school year. And at this time, this concludes this workshop. Thank you, everybody.